The final thing that I want you to think about when it comes to promoting positive body image is how can you support the children and young people in your care to build multiple pillars of self-esteem. Now what I mean by this is I think of self-esteem as like a temple. Now a temple has multiple pillars because that makes it strong. It means that if something happens to one of the pillars, it gets broken or shaken or damaged in some way, the temple keeps standing. However, if a temple had just one pillar and something happened to it, the whole thing would crumble to the ground. And this can happen sometimes with children and young people. For some of them, they're so hung up on their body image and how they look and the image that they share with the world of themselves that everything else feels kind of somewhat insignificant. The problem with that is that if anything happens to shake that, to make them feel insecure in themselves and the image they portray to them, to the world, or if someone's unkind to them about it or something changes here, breaks that pillar, then the whole thing comes tumbling down. So the key thing here is thinking with children about what other pillars are there of your self-esteem and how can we look to build them up. So in addition to being someone who perhaps maybe you are proud of how you look, maybe you're really strong through sport and you've got a very athletic body and that's something you feel proud of, great. But in addition to that, maybe then also add the fact that you've got the skill in a sport. Perhaps you're also a really good friend to people. Perhaps you're also very good at art or you really enjoy art. There can be all sorts of different pillars to your self-esteem. The most important thing is to help kids recognise the need to have that kind of breadth of experience and self-identity and to think about how can we promote each of those different pillars. It's important not just around body image. If you watch some of the other courses that I've put together, you'll hear me talk about this with regards to things like academics as well. Sometimes we get children who are so hung up on their academic performance, and this is the be all and end all, that if they don't quite get the grades that they want, that actually then everything falls apart for them. So again, with those kids, I'd be saying exactly the same thing. Is it possible that we can also build other pillars around a sport, a hobby, an activity, friendships, so that they've got more pillars on which to support their temple and the whole thing is much less likely to crumble. Something here to reflect on is your own pillars of self-esteem. What makes them up? Do you have multiple pillars of self-esteem? Are they something that you would feel confident talking to the children in your care about? Are there any that you think could do with a bit of reinforcement, a bit of investment of time and effort and energy? Or is this something that you think you've got pretty well? Again, this is the kind of thing that you can be exploring with your pupils. Maybe you talk to them about the need to strengthen some of the other facets of yourself. And you might, for example, pick a hobby back up that you used to find great enjoyment and connection with and encourage students to do the same. So the fundamental thing here, trying to spot where there's danger, where our self-esteem temple is built on only one pillar, and recognizing what are the other pillars here that could be developed and how can we strengthen them. If you found this video helpful, you might be interested to learn more about UCAN. UCAN is our new, ever-growing, on-demand video CPD service for schools. Each course is made up of a series of modules just like the one you've just watched. Each module is designed to be highly practical with ideas that you can use right away. We're growing our library of courses every week to meet the demands of our subscribers. There's a huge wealth of training that you and your colleagues will be able to access if your school subscribes. Our short, practical videos make it easy and enjoyable to learn, so you can do anything you set your mind to.